So colleagues and students, we're already in the fourth week of the academic year. We've had a good 4 weeks. There has been no disruptions of the academic program. Indeed, registration went well. Our student numbers are slightly ahead of our targets, but broadly in line with what we anticipated. I'm told that academically, lectures are proceeding without much problems. We've had one or two challenges, and I'll speak about those in a minute, but overall, it's been a good start to the academic year. One of our big challenges has been accommodation. It's something that is a huge problem in the system. Our problem is that we have about 6,100 beds, 6,150 beds to be precise. We've increased the number of beds this year by 150. And effectively, the 6,150 beds are all full. There are one or two rooms that have been allocated that are not, people are not here yet, but I have checked with the residences and they say to me that every single one of our rooms have been allocated. That is not good enough for all of our students. There's clearly much more demand. We have at least 22,000 students that apply for accommodation, at least a demand of double the 6,150, and clearly we do not have enough residences. One of the things that we are exploring at the moment is to talk to province about providing us with some buildings in which nursing residences were. That hasn't yet materialized, but we will continue to engage the provincial government to see about the possibility of transferring those residences at an appropriate time. We're also speaking to a variety of stakeholders about looking at how we can go to scale, how we can literally double the amount of residences, beds that we have available, and how to do so in a short period of time. So we're looking at engaging public stakeholders and private stakeholders to see, is there any other way that we could go to scale? But those initiatives won't be resolving anything in the short term. In the short term, what we've tried to do is try and assist students on an individual basis. We've tried to create special provisions. We've negotiated with South Point to provide certain rooms for students that were truly struggling and didn't have accommodation. We've tried to create certain temporary facilities for other students that hadn't heard from NSFAS and other funders. So we are trying to address the challenges with regards to accommodation as best as we can. But if we're going to resolve this sustainably, we're going to have to create the capacity to double our residences. And that means we need to think outside the box. We need to think about how to go to scale, and we need to engage other stakeholders, whether they be the provincial government, the national government, or the private sector. And all of those initiatives are underway to find a sustainable way to address the accommodation crisis at Wits, but elsewhere in the system as well. In addition to that, there is the issue of the xenophobia. That has been a real concern in recent days. We've seen xenophobic attacks happening in many parts of the country, but particularly around Pretoria and surrounding areas. This is something that we should condemn as a university community. Once you walk through our doors, you're beyond race, class, nationality, religion. We are all Witses, and we stand in solidarity with each other. We try and define a university community founded on the principles of solidarity, founded on the principles of us being a collective human community. And so we must be very, very clear in our condemnation of the xenophobic attacks. As importantly, we must ensure that international staff and international students are protected within our ranks. And I want to say that those who have been on the receiving end of attacks or verbal abuse, please bring your experience to the attention of the Dean of Students or to your line managers. Or if you like, write to me so that we can try and provide counseling and we can provide assistance in any way we can. For students or any member of the university community that is found to be guilty of xenophobic sentiment, we would take the strongest of actions. It goes against the grain of everything we stand for as a university community, and we will not tolerate anyone within our midst who would engage in attacking a fellow Witsi on xenophobic grounds. So we must provide support to our colleagues from other parts of the continent, to our students from other parts of the continent and other parts of the world. We are defined by the principle of solidarity that should define the emergence of a decent human community.